I'm Jack Quaid, and you're watching TrekCulture. Live long and prosper.
Hello everybody, Ellie here for TrekCulture once again. You couldn't write it, could you? Seriously? We have gone weeks, months, in this dry spell of no Star Trek news. And then the 1 week that Mr. Sean Ferrick decides to go on holiday, we get multiple news drops in that 1 week. Maybe he should go away more often. Does that mean, if Sean goes away, does that mean we just get news? Because, yay, Star Trek news. Now, before I get into the proper news that you're all here to listen to, I do want to just go back to the news I spoke to a couple of days ago, because we do have an update with regards to Prodigy Season 1 and 2 and their fate on Netflix. I did say, take it with a pinch of salt, this hasn't been confirmed, but since then, the Hageman brothers seem to have confirmed this through their social media, basically confirming that Seasons 1 and 2 will be removed from Netflix by the end of the year. This is what their tweet said. While the future removal of Star Trek Prodigy on Netflix is disconcerting, it has little to do with lack of viewership or anything nefarious. The license for Season 1 is up June 24th and Season 2 December 31st. We hold out hope someone will pick it up. The next generation of Trek fans deserve it. I guess it is somewhat comforting to know that this is just something to do with licensing and nothing, as they say, nefarious, nothing to do with a lack of support or love for the show. But it doesn't make it any less heartbreaking to know that Prodigy once again will not have a home. I did mention in the previous news video that it does feel like we're just back to the same situation we were with Season 2, or prior to Season 2 being released, when Paramount Plus decided to drop the show, and we basically need to now campaign once again for another network, another streaming service to pick up that license so that future generations can discover the wonders and beauty of Star Trek. Now, of course, again, as I mentioned in the previous video, physical copies are available. DVDs, Blu-rays of both seasons are available for purchase, and the 2 seasons are also available on streaming services like Apple TV and Prime Video for purchase. But I think that for the next generation of kids, of Star Trek fans, to discover it, it needs to be easily accessible. They need to be able to just find it on the streaming service they already have, as opposed to seek it out and pay for it, which most kids are not going to be able to do. This is what's so sad, is you want those younger generation, the future generations of our Trekkie world to just stumble across this amazing show and discover how fantastic and beautiful it can be. And that's not really possible when they're not the ones with the money and the wallet able to make purchases. And hopefully parents have parental controls to stop kids from just buying whatever they want on Netflix. Actually, you can't buy on Netflix, on Prime, on Apple TV. You get what I'm saying. If it's not easy to find, children are not going to find it. And that's so sad. Obviously, us as adults with adult money can find it. Maybe with that adult money we might buy it, but it's not as easy as saying, I have a subscription to this streaming service and here is this wonderful show to watch. It just makes it so much less accessible. And it's really, really sad. As I mentioned in the previous video, I won't dwell on it too much. There's a whole video of me talking about how sad this makes me. But it is very sad that this show seems to just keep getting downtrodden and erased, and I really don't understand why, because it is some of the best Star Trek ever released, but certainly in the last 10 years, it's some of the best Star Trek ever made. So it really, really is so sad. But as I say, there's an entire video on all my reasons why it's sad, so you can go and check that out. We have other news to talk about, which is, of course, we now have an official release date for Strange New Worlds Season 3. And when I say official, this is not some kind of cross wires in terms of a TV channel giving us the wrong date. This isn't the vague this summer that we had teased in the recent teaser trailer that we had. This is an officially confirmed release date for the drop on Paramount Plus, which is Thursday, July 17th. And not only are we getting episode 1 on the 17th of July, we're also getting episode 2, a 2-episode drop in week 1. And then we will have weekly drops following that all the way through until the 11th of September. which of course will probably end on a cliffhanger because we know that season 4 is currently in production. So we know the story is going to continue, so why wouldn't they end season 3 on a cliffhanger just as they ended season 2 on a cliffhanger? I mean, it's just good TV show etiquette, isn't it? If you know there's going to be more, end on a cliffhanger. When it doesn't work so well is when you end on a cliffhanger and then you don't know there's going to be more, and then there isn't more, and then everyone's like, hang on a minute, you ended on a cliffhanger, and now you can't continue the story. Please don't do that. Now, some of you might be confused. You might be going, hang on a minute, Ellie, you already released a video saying that the release dates had been announced. Yes, we did. This will be the whole wires crossed with regards to a TV channel that I just mentioned. We did previously release a video where we had seen the official social media channel on Facebook for Sky Showtime reply to a comment suggesting that season 3 would be releasing on the 1st of August. We went, woohoo, yay, we found some information, let's cover that, let's jump on that. After that video was released, Sky Showtime then confirmed that this was incorrect and a staff member had been passed along some untrue facts and this was not the release date and we should not believe August 1st is when the show is going to drop. So we went back to square one and started speculating again about when in this summer we were going to get season 3. We then released a video recently covering the fact that the world premiere of season 3 will be taking place on June 14th at the Tribeca Festival. But of course, this is when the episodes are going to release on Paramount Plus. This is episode 1 presumably is going to be shown at that festival ahead of its release on Paramount Plus. So with that information, we once again started to speculate once more about whether or not Season 3 of Strange New Worlds would follow the model set by Season 5 of Star Trek Discovery, where they world premiered their episode at South by Southwest in 2024, and then just under a month after that was when the first episode, actually the first 2 episodes, dropped on Paramount Plus. And we were correct in that assumption because just over a month and a few days after the premiere at Tribeca Festival, we will then have the release of Season 3 on July 17th on Paramount Plus. Following suit with Star Trek Discovery Season 5, not only are we getting 1 episode, we're getting 2 episodes dropped, which is the same thing that Season 5 of Discovery did, which is great for fans, maybe slightly stressful when it comes to doing ups and downs, but you know what? That's Sean's problem. He's not here, so we'll just give him that problem. It's a very small complaint to have, isn't it? We get 2 episodes at once. I am one of those people who always weigh up, do I wait until the whole season's aired so I can binge it? But I'm also don't want to wait and avoid spoilers for 10 weeks, or 9 weeks in this instance. So I will just watch them all. But yeah, let me know, what's your preference? Do you like it when they drop them all in one go, or do you like it when they drop them weekly? I have pros and cons on both sides. So along with the release dates, the official article that had the release dates also gave us a little teaser about what to expect in Season 3, and this is what it said. In Season 3, when we reconnect with the crew of the USS Enterprise, still under the command of Captain Pike, they face the conclusion of Season 2's harrowing encounter with the Gorn. But new life and civilizations await, including a villain that will test our characters' grit and resolve. An exciting twist on classic Star Trek, Season 3 takes characters both new and beloved to new heights and dives into thrilling adventures of faith, duty, romance, comedy and mystery, with varying genres never before seen on any other Star Trek. I mean, that certainly got me interested. Genres never before seen in Star Trek, which, to be fair, we've seen precedent with in Season 2, they had a musical episode. We've not had a musical episode of Star Trek. So they are trying to tread new ground, which I think is important for a franchise that's been running for almost 60 years. It's important that they try to explore new things and not just retread the same old tropes that they have done for the last 60 years. I honestly can't get my head around how they haven't done a musical episode until this point, which I guess the same goes for other franchises. Doctor Who has never really done a proper musical episode either. It does blow my mind that after 60 years, we can still be treading new ground and finding new ways to explore. But I guess as technology evolves, so too can the limits of what Star Trek is able to achieve. I mean, we wouldn't have had the whole cartoon crossover that we had before. So that was groundbreaking. That was new. So as technology evolves, as the medium of storytelling and filmmaking and television evolves, so too can the limits of Star Trek. Now, of course, in the teaser trailer that was released last month, we all started speculating about who Rhys Darby's character was going to be. And we kind of all came to the conclusion that it was Trelane, right? And then, as Sean previously stated in one of our previous videos covering Strange New World Season 3 speculation, the expanded media has all but confirmed this popular theory that Trelane is a member of the Q continuum. That, to me, certainly sounds like the perfect fit for a villain that will test our character's grit and resolve. Trelane / the Q continuum, definitely going to test grit and resolve in my mind. So maybe we're wrong, but I think we may be on the right tracks here in our assumption that we have Trelane / the Q continuum. I mean, we all know that Trelane was basically the blueprint for what Q ended up being, for what John Delancey made Q into, all the way back right at the beginning of The Next Generation. So I think that would be very interesting to explore that, to kind of retroactively go back and look at a character who now has all these characteristics of a character of a species that we're so familiar with, and see where those connections can be made. Sometimes that's dangerous to kind of change something retroactively, but if done well, I think it could be very interesting. In terms of the varying genres, obviously I did just speak about those. We've had plenty of examples of that in the previous 2 seasons. And again, the recent trailer gave us plenty of teasers about what different genres we might be seeing in Season 3. I think for me, I'm particularly intrigued by the 50s kind of holodeck murder mystery setting. I mean, first of all, I'm a sucker for anything 1950s anyway. The costumes of that episode already have me very excited. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be one of those kind of melodramatic, over-the-top stories, which I think is going to be great. If they approach it as something very serious, that could also work very well, but I think it's going to be one of those kind of on-the-nose situations. Where they're maybe aware that they're playing a role, they're playing a story out. I could be wrong, but that's kind of where my mind thinks that it might go. But I also love episodes that are holodeck set episodes. Now, obviously, we do have this whole question of how there can be a holodeck on Pike's Enterprise. As Sean has mentioned, there's speculation this might be a rec room, but I'm very intrigued to find out the mystery of the episode, but also this mystery of how can we have a holodeck in this episode as well. So already in just a less than a minute teaser, there's so many questions and so many things we can speculate about. So it's so exciting. And then, of course, while we're talking about mysteries, we have this whole mystery after the cliffhanger of Season 2. We still don't know the fate of all those captured by the Gorn at the end of Season 2. Although I guess this teaser trailer and some of the clips that we've seen of Season 3 maybe undermines this mystery slightly, because we know that all our main players are in future episodes, so that kind of undermines that mystery of, are they all going to survive? Are they all going to be okay? But, you know, we've commented on that in the past. Was that a wise move? Was that a good decision? It's kind of hard to make a trailer without your main characters in it, so I guess they were in a little bit of a sticky situation there where they set themselves up with this cliffhanger. We all kind of assume, I would imagine, that they're all going to survive anyway. I mean, half the cast we know survive because we've seen them in the future, in past. It's very confusing. We've seen them in future stories in the original series and beyond, so we know that they obviously are going to survive, but some of them we don't. You know, Ortega's, for example. We haven't seen her in any original series stories, so she could have been a really good character to maybe give us a little bit of uncertainty around. But the character that we do still have a lot of questions about, and who is mysteriously absent from any of the scenes that we've seen so far, the trailers, the clips, is Batel, Captain Batel. Obviously, she was infected by the Gorn eggs at the end of the season, so there is still this question of her survival. Is she going to survive? She is missing from the trailers. My brain says that she will be okay, but it is interesting that she is missing. I hope she survives. I like her. I like the dynamic that she and Pike have. So I hope she survives, but I guess of all the characters who we are questioning their fates, she is the one who we have the most uncertainty around at the moment based on the trailers. And the characters we've seen in the trailers. And then, of course, we also have Martin Quinn joining this season as a series regular as Scotty. We did meet him at the end of season 2 of Strange New Worlds, so it's going to be really interesting to see how he integrates with the rest of the crew. I'm especially excited to see the dynamic between him and Carol Kane's Pelia. I'm not sure if there's going to be a real good friendship there or if there's going to be butting of heads. I'm excited to see the dynamic with 2 engineers on the Enterprise at the same time with very big personalities as well. And I'm also excited to see potentially the development of a friendship between Scotty and Kirk. We know that Paul Wesley is going to be in this season as well, reprising the role of Kirk. So it will be interesting to start to see these friendships that we know exist when we get to the original series, but it's really fun to see those friendships develop prior to what we already know. Obviously, we have Uhura there as well, we have Spock, so it's really interesting to see how all of these connections are going to be made, so that we can kind of get them to the point that we know of at the beginning of the original series. Overall though, it's just so exciting that we finally know when we are going to be seeing season 3. It feels like it's been so long. I mean, it has been longer than usual because the strikes did mean that production on season 3 did get put on hold, and so we have had this unusually long wait between season 2 and season 3. I would suggest perhaps now that you do know when it's happening, if you haven't done so already, maybe go back and watch season 2 so you can just refamiliarize yourselves with the events so that when you come into season 3 you don't go, wait, what happened? Because I think I definitely need to do that. Rewatch season 2 so I'm fully familiar with all the events that happened before diving into season 3. That is the only issue when you have such long waits between seasons. You kind of forget what happened, unless you're Sean, because he just knows everything. But I guess one silver lining we do have is that we know season 4 is currently in production. So this is a good sign that the wait between season 3 and season 4 is not going to be as long as this wait between season 2 and 3. So that's good. We're going to have more coverage as more and more things are released. I would imagine we'll probably have at least one more trailer before the release now, so that's exciting as well, and I'm sure Sean will be back to break down that trailer. But if you haven't already gone back and checked out his breakdown of this teaser trailer that we got last month, then do go and do that as well. I didn't want to go too much into that in this video because obviously there is an entire video on that and we'll just be repeating ourselves, and Sean knows a lot more about it than I do, so you're probably better listening to him talk about it. In the meantime though, do make sure that you have the subscribe button hit and the notification bell hit so then when we do have videos coming out, you don't miss them. If you haven't already, then do go and check out my video from earlier in the week talking about the Prodigy news. I know some people aren't as big a fans of Prodigy, but for those of us who are, it would really mean a lot if we could just all rally together to help save Prodigy once again. It's so sad that we keep having to try and save this show. It's as if it's not a good show, but it really, really is. It just blows my mind. It boggles the mind. Make sure that you also head over to all the social media pages. You can find me there, you can find Sean there, you can find TrekCulture on all these places as well. Hopefully, the next video you see, Sean will be back, unless more news drops in the time between me recording this and it going out. But hopefully, that should be it for now. Until I see you again, live long and prosper.